Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Growth Show. My name is Mark Lamberth. I'm your host. Today I'm really excited about an interview with Amy Ecklund at AmyWorks in Seattle, Washington. Amy, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I talked to a lot of different folks in the contractor space, and I'm always just amazed at the kind of guests that we're able to have on. People that are very articulate, have got an amazing business model, really kind of thought through things, and just add so much value to our listeners. I'd love to hear just kind of the story of AmyWorks, of how you guys got started, and where things are at today.
Okay. As far as thinking through things, yeah, that wasn't me. Um, that was.
Being articulate, I think that's
Oh,
you.
okay. I
Yeah.
can do that part, but the intentional thing, it was by the seat of my pants. So I have a science degree and I worked in the science field for about 14 years. Got tired of doing that and always loved working with my hands, working on fixing things around the house. And so I started working with Tomboy Tools, which is a set of hand tools that are designed for women by women, sold at home parties. People would ask me, can you come to my house and fix my light switch? And I was just there to sell tools. I wasn't there to do repairs, but I could do it. So I decided, oh, sure, I'll do it. The very first time I ever went to somebody's house with my toolbox, walking up to their door, I'm like, man, they are paying me to do this. This is fantastic. Never thinking about going into business. I mean, I'm science background, right? I had no business classes, nothing, had no idea how the economy worked. But as I was doing it, I just absolutely loved doing it. I started doing my due diligence on what it took to actually start a business. And while I was doing that, I stumbled across a handyman services franchise that was based out of Washington here. And I went and talked to the CEO, and he was very interested in having a woman franchise owner with the territory, driving the van around and stuff. So we struck a deal, and that was my first exposure to running a business. And it was really nice for me, having had no business experience whatsoever. I was handed all of this stuff that had already been done, the marketing, the branding, the logo, the scheduling, all of that stuff that it would have probably taken me 5 years to develop. It was just given to me. And then I just had to go out and start doing the service work. And as I was in it for about 2 years, I realized that the franchise model it wasn't the greatest, and it wasn't really advantageous to me. And I know some are worse than others. And this was, it was not good. So I decided to let that go. Went to work for somebody else, real estate developer, converting apartments to condos. And then, 2009, 2008, where real estate market just absolutely crashed. I ended up, I had no job. So, and I still had people calling me to come and do particular, repairs and things like that. So, economy's in the toilet. What do? You start a business. So I started AmyWorks in January of 2010. Hired my first employee about 9 months later. I did the handyman services thing. We grew every year until about 2017. I was just fed up with the lack of skilled labor that I could find, people that knew how to do this kind of work. And so I decided I was going to close it down or take a pause, which I did. Kind of shut it down for about 5 months. Went to work as a project manager for a friend of mine who had a bigger GC company. He ended up having to lay me off 5 months later. And what do? You go back into business for yourself. So I opened it back up again. My insurance was still valid and everything. However, I pivoted to focusing on remodels as opposed to the handyman services, which is a totally different business model. But it took off, and here we are now. Goal for making over $3 million this year. We've done it in the past, and I'm going to do it again in 3 years. We're hoping to hit the 5 million revenue mark. So yeah, short answer to a question, right?
Love it. Amazing information. How many people do you have on your team right now?
There's 6 of us right now,
Okay.
soon to be 7. I'm hiring right now.
Okay. So we've had we've done about 100 episodes here. We've had, I don't know, 8 or 10 women owners, CEOs of the construction trades, I often find some amazing, interesting pattern. They're often run better, the businesses. It's something I just have noticed. Any thoughts or just kind of, I mean, you work, you've taught workshops and things, and you're involved in kind of different kind of community stuff with women. Any thoughts about what it's like to be a woman in the trades? How things kind of go? I mean, does that have is it a way that you're able to kind of grow the business at all, or does it come up? Does it not matter? I mean, have you found any differences with that?
I haven't found it to really matter on how I grow my business.
Mhm.
I know that, going to these women in trades conferences and things like that, it's actually kind of sad because a lot of the content around that is protecting the women in the workforce, protecting the women out in the field, right? Fighting for them to have their own bathrooms or to be able to go off and if they've got a baby, they're able to pump their milk or whatever during the day and having that security. And it's just not there. And it's so sad to see that. And me working for myself or being the business owner, right? Of course, anybody walking in the door has definitely got that security right away. An advantage that I do have though is that a lot of times clients that are looking for remodels, it's typically women homeowners or it's the wife of the couple that are put in charge of finding somebody, and it's who they're comfortable working with, and they see that it's a woman or queer-owned business, and they're like, "Oh, that's the one." And so, we have a foot in the door right away, and I really push for, building a relationship with our clients right from the very beginning and being open and this is how it works, and if it's not a fit for us, we're gonna let them know that. So not really advantages, but sometimes just, being able to draw women in that are looking for general contractors.
Gotcha. You guys have won a number of awards. Remodelers Counselor, Member of the Year by the Master Builder Association of King and Snohomish Counties. Have you have you intended to go out? I mean, we've talked to some companies that they've kind of said this is a great kind of avenue for us to kind of have some connection with the community. And so we've had some more intention around going out and kind of being a, put our name in the hat or whatever for, different awards of different kinds. Other folks, it's just kind of happened organically. Maybe their team kind of nominated them for some kind of award. How have those awards come about with you guys?
It's a mix of both. I actually have a funny story about that award that you just brought up, the Builder of the Year award. I didn't know that I was getting that award. I didn't know I was nominated, nothing. And it was given out at this big gala that Master Builders put on. And it was scheduled for one night. And I had been out of town the week prior, got home on a Friday. This was supposed to be a Saturday night. And I totally forgot about it, totally spaced it out, not knowing that I was getting an award. And so, I didn't go. And at about 7:10 that evening, my phone starts blowing up like, "Where are you? What are you doing? You're supposed to be here." And I'm like, "Why?" And then
Right.
somebody sent me the video about, Amy Ecklund, Builder of the Year, la la la. It's like, oh geez, missed my, opportunity in the limelight. So I'm like, yeah,
There
okay.
goes your 15 minutes, right?
I know it was, and I just totally missed it. So that was interesting that I didn't know that. Some of them, yes, you have to like the Puget Sound Business Journal. It's one of the, I think they're nationwide, the business journal periodicals. You just, give your stats for the past year and they kind of fit you into wherever you're going to go. So the, woman of the year, or not woman of the year, but, standing in the top 25, those kind of things, how I fell into place. I did get the Inc. 5000, one of the Inc. 5000 places as well.
Awesome.
So yeah. And then a couple of awards where, it's like, Master Builders does, remodels of the year, bathroom under $60,000. You submit all your pictures and all that kind of stuff. And I've won several of those as well.
How cool.
Yeah.
So you and your team partnered with Low Income Housing Institute to build a tiny house community for women experiencing homelessness. Homelessness, is that correct?
We did. It's actually It's called Sound Foundations. It's a nonprofit. They've got a really cool setup here in Seattle. They've got this huge warehouse, and it's like a production line to actually create these tiny homes. They've got a huge jig set up for the walls. So you just drop your 2x4s in there, and somebody goes along with the nail gun and nails it together. Then the whole crew goes and stands it up, puts it on a dolly, goes over, attaches it to the other wall, and it just moves across. And they've got arrows on the floor and different stations of, this is the roofing station, this is the painting station. So it's really, really cool. And they've done, I think, almost 1,000 homes like that. And we've got a number of little tiny home villages throughout Seattle. So yeah, I have done some work with that. It was pretty cool.
Amazing. So you actually host a podcast yourself, co-host Let's Talk Home Repair. Is that right?
I did. We haven't done a podcast in probably 2 years. I'd love to get it going again, but my co-host she's a music producer, so she's got a lot of other things going on than talking about home repairs. So I can't kind of, lasso her into doing some more. It was always so fun to talk with her.
Oh, that's so cool. Fantastic. Well, you guys, you folks have got some amazing goals here, growing to $3 million this year, 5 million in the next few years. We're the Contractor Growth Show. We're always looking for, some insights about how to, grow the business for contractors, whether it be marketing, focusing on sales, referrals. Do you have kind of a process in place about, how that'll happen to grow?
Yes, I do. It's taken a while to get to that point. Like I said, we did one thing for 7 years, and then the next 7 years we're doing something else, and I wasn't intentional about the business. I mean, I've taken classes and workshops and been involved in different things with the local business school, but it's been in the past couple of years that I've gotten really serious about systemizing the whole process. I'm hoping to retire in the next 3 years, so I would love to be able to have this packaged business that somebody can just take over. They step in, it's like, "Okay, this is how we do it." We're getting really close to that. We're working on, making sure we've got our KPIs, tracking the right numbers. I've finally figured out that marketing is not as awful as I thought it was, especially when you associate numbers with it. I love numbers. Marketing is
Uh-huh.
always this vague, woo-woo kind of creative thing, and it's just like, "No, thank you." Uh,
Yeah.
but I've got some great coaching now, and it's like, "No, we can do it as a number thing, and this is how you figure it out as far as numbers go." And so it's like, "Oh, that makes a whole lot more sense." So being able to see that and see the numbers change as we, just tweak the levers just a little bit. So yeah, yeah, we're doing a lot of systemizing and getting a process down, and it's making a
Gotcha.
difference. Yeah.
So cool. And if you're interested, I'd love to chat just a little bit about kind of a unique service that you guys are doing. And we can get into this how at whatever level you want, but kind of launching like a home repair sort of subscription service.
Mhm.
Um, you had talked about, that folks don't know what's wrong with their home, and that maintenance is a lot lower cost than than doing work after the fact, right? When someone's already got a squishy floor. Maybe you could tell me just a little about that service you guys are rolling out.
Okay. Yeah, this has been a brainchild of mine for years, and when I've taught workshops, people have always said, "Oh, I just wish my house came with an owner's manual, to know what I need to do." And then I was talking to an attorney friend of mine, and they kind of did a similar thing with their actual, legal services. And she and I spoke a little bit, and it's like, this is exactly what I want to do with home repair. So what we're hoping to do, and I'm within months of getting this totally off the ground, is it's a home subscription, we call the VIP home maintenance plan, that you'll sign up for a full year, and it's going to cost about $3,000 maybe to start. What you get with that is there'll be 4 visits throughout the year. We start the first one with bringing in an actual licensed home inspector that's going to come in and do a full home inspection from the roof all the way to the crawl space, with photos and explanations and things that we need to really look at, things that, keep an eye on this, and then other things that everything looks great. So we'll use that as our template to move through the following quarters, and we'll come in on a quarterly basis. We'll do some minor repairs or minor maintenance things like maybe recalking the tub or cleaning out your dryer vent or cleaning out the refrigerator coils. Those kind of things that people don't realize that they need to do, and we'll do those things and then possibly also address some of the things that were found on the home inspection report, and being able to be a referral source for them so that if they got some roofing work that needs to be done. AmyWorks doesn't do roofing, but we've got a number of roofers that we work with and we vet. So we would refer them to, this person, you get them out, you need to have this kind of work done. So it provides a peace of mind for people. It's one less thing that they have to worry about. They know that we're coming in every 3 months and it's like, okay, got any issues that you want? Where's your list? Let's take a look at this. Let's get these things taken care of. And then they can just go off and worry about other things.
That's amazing. I mean, it really seems like it kind of moved on the other side of the desk, like with the homeowners, sort of really kind of aligned with their interests, especially because, I mean, yeah, prevention is like so much, lower cost than, repair, right?
Mhm.
And so something like refrigerator coils, I mean, who even thinks about that? But it's like, well, this is going to cause you a much more expensive repair down the road.
Right.
And then you're not doing necessarily all the work yourself. You may also be referring them to
Mm.
very specialists in this as well.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
What
a
an
big
amazing
a big
that's
hurdle that homeowners come up against is they don't know who to call. Right? They've got a problem and, it's like, yeah, you can go onto Google or Yelp or whatever and pick a name, but you just don't know. And, we've worked with these other trades for years, been referring them, and we know that they do really good work. So we're able to with really good certainty, refer them to these people and they're going to be taken care of.
so smart.
Yeah.
What an amazing. I really hope that just absolutely takes off. What an amazing. I love when builders have found a way to really align with a homeowner's interests, right? A lot of times there's almost kind of a reactive quality. There's a hailstorm and, I need this roof. It's kind of this emergency. But to think about that idea, I mean, I just 100% believe that I completely, I love it. I love what you're talking about. So we've covered a lot of great things here, right? We've just talked about kind of this amazing service. We've talked about some of the awards that have happened and, how you've kind of looked into some of those potentially and kind of thrown your hat in. Others have just kind of happened organically, how things kind of evolved through your career and also just what some of the aspects of being a woman in the trades is. It sounds like doesn't become, a huge factor in the work that you guys are doing. But yeah, I'm always just kind of interested in that. So appreciate your insight on that.
So,
If folks are in the Seattle area looking for a great company to work with, or they're looking for this new service of kind of preventative, home repair sort of subscription service, what are the best ways to get in touch with you folks?
we've got a website, amyworks.com, pretty easy. And then our phone number, 206-478-2019. And on our website, we've got a contact form that you can fill out. And it actually says whether you're looking for the subscription or you're looking to do a remodel. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. So take a look at amyworks.com, just like it sounds. And then the phone number is 206-478-2019. Thanks again, Amy, for being on the show today.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate it.